One of the important things to really make Lightroom work for you is to make sure that you add keywords and metadata to your images. By doing this, the database will work so much better and you'll be able to access a lot of imagery. Now, the library module is really where you can control what we do. Now, the most important thing to remember is that when you come across here and you go to import images for the first time, please ensure that you add keywords. For example, if you're shot in a specific location, or it's a particular shoot that you are shooting on, or all the images have the same sort of characteristics, add keywords in here, because it'll just make life so much easier than having to add to all of them down the track. Metadata as well, create yourself a nice simple metadata preset that goes in here, one that tells you about your copyright as well as information about yourself like contact numbers. So it's important. Let's start right when we start to import images. Let's start adding keywords, metadata there straight away. Once the images are in, we can then start to tweak things a little bit better. And over on the right hand panel here, we've got our keywords. So what we can do is we can come through, select an image, and we can then go in here and add more keywords. And remember, a comma is what I use for that. So these were shot in Sydney. And I can apply that information. I can select a whole range of images, or I can just do them one at a time. But usually what you'll find is you'll select a whole amount of images here, and you can apply that keyword to them all. It'll even give you some suggested keywords down here if you are going to want to apply them. It's just a matter of clicking on them and they will appear in here as well. So if I click on this one here, for example, I can come through, click waterfall, and it's been applied to that image. So that's another quick way, and that suggestion list will get bigger the more and more you use it. For example, Sydney has just been added to that list because I've used it before. Down here you can create custom sets, especially if you do a lot of, photograph a lot of graffiti. There might be some set keywords you want to use in there. You can create and customize specific sets for yourself. Where it comes down to is when you want to find that information, and this is where your keywords will be listed, and this is where you can create sets, and a whole heap of keywords will be under that set. And basically what you can do is just click on here and find those specific images. At the same time, it's going to come up here in the filters and let you go through and be able to identify images that you've created up there in the filters. So if I just go back to all my images up here again, turn off the filters so there's none, back to all my photographs, rightio. That's a nice simple way, especially if you've got a whole heap of images. But what happens if you've just got one keyword you need to go through and add to a whole heap of things? And like, for example, Sydney. So I'm going to use the spray can here, or the painter. You click on it, come across here, type in Sydney, and then all I simply do is go back to the spray can. When I want to use it, click on it again, Sydney's there, and then I can just come through and spray that on. And it's just like using spray paint. I can go through all my images. Oh, yep, that's a Sydney one, Sydney, that's Sydney. And it's just so quickly and easily to go through and apply one or a few words that relate to that image. So it's quite easy to do. So there's your options, righto? Right from the word import, make sure that you're starting to apply keywords metadata. Also here, ensure that you add them as well to sets of images. Use the spray can to go through and add to particular images. Also what you can do is add metadata to particular images in this location, and this is where we can go through, and what you can do is you can put things like captions in and titles, things that you may not have done earlier, but you can do for particular images. And this is really handy if you're going to create a book in Lightroom, because Lightroom will actually use those captions and titles if you want as part of headings and as part of captions within the books you create. So metadata, whole heap of information there. You can go and change, add it, and it'll tell you things have been changed. You need to click on that. It'll tell you then, do you want it saved? You say, yes, I do, and it updates that image for you. So that's metadata, that's keywording. really take the effort to get on top of it, because if you don't, you know, you're not really going to get the full benefit out of Lightroom and the database that it provides.